Are we ready to go? Excellent. In 3,
Ready?
2, 1, go. Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining us again under the library, where we play Call of Cthulhu and record it and post it as it happens. Tonight we will be continuing Season 2 of our homebrew campaign. We are short one investigator tonight. Chris is out for the week. We will soldier on without him. Just a little sad about it. My name's Arthur. I'm playing Franny. I am joined by Scott as Culligan, Rick as Bello, Wayne as Rutherford, Emily is back this week as Joe, and as always, our keeper is Michael. Michael, take it away.
Hey, thanks for joining us. Under the Library is a Call of Cthulhu actual play of a tabletop role-playing game. I think I'm just saying words at the moment. Anyway, this is the disclaimer that we are immature people doing mature themes, and some of those themes may include bodily harm, gore, bodily expulsions. Am I missing anything? Cannibalism.
Oh, don't say it.
Yeah, don't say it.
Oh, okay. Anyway, this week we're going to be trying to get this train back on the track. We've beaten Rick into submission brutally pre-show. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Emily, who's going to give a recap of the week that she missed.
I will. And I have to read everything that I wrote down while listening to your episode last week. That is my disclaimer. The first thing that I wrote was, Michael fell apart without me.
Yeah. It's not untrue.
It's totally true.
That was the craziest intro I ever heard.
He just couldn't do it. He couldn't do it without you there.
Couldn't do it without me. Yeah.
It was a little weird to go from not actual Emily to...
From my very clear and well-spoken summary recorded for your listening pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
Pre-recorded.
Yeah.
Can we? How many takes did you do? How many takes did you do?
Oh, just the one. That's all I needed.
Yeah, Emily's a pro.
Okay. Go ahead.
You knew the answer before you even said that.
Try not to punch anybody while you're doing the intro.
If I do, that will be for also your listening pleasure.
Got him.
So, as they began last week, Boone tried to peel off Bello's costume from the neck down. Bello moaned in pain. And then I wrote the question, what's the grape lady? There was a grape lady joke? Anyone? Okay, I guess it's not important.
I didn't
Boone
get it when it happened.
Sees bruising on Bello's left side and a broken humerus bone piercing the skin. He pulls on the arm to straighten it and then covers the broken skin with a tobacco chaw. Wraps the arm and makes a sling. Bello regained 1 hit point. He was described as a chicken centaur with a costume flapping at the waist and his chicken hands tied in front. At this point, I stopped taking notes and waited out over 10 minutes of continuous dick jokes. Guilt. Shame.
It did get a little out of hand.
Returning to our story.
Dick joke.
Returning to our story. The party decided to return to Dick's house. Cully.
Wait, can he got renamed last episode? We returned to his birth name.
Oh, this is just my shorthand.
Yeah, it's Richard's
and
house.
I take the notes.
Oh,
so.
Damn.
And when you say we, you mean you tried to retcon it because you knew that you'd gone too deep with your dick jokes.
Oh, I see what you did there, Scott.
Oh,
I see what you did there.
So, Cully has access to Dick's medicine cabinet. So he looks for pain meds for Bello. He also notices that Dick's heart medications are gone. He grabs the aspirin. He also notices the hair pomade is missing. Dick's special hair Richards hair product. And also the things in the bedroom seem out of order, as if it's been searched. Rutherford looks for Dick's notes, but they seem to be all gone. However, there is a single note on his desk saying he's been called away on urgent business. He apologizes and offers his house for our use. Rutherford knows it's Dick's handwriting, clearly done in haste. He didn't sign off in the usual way, and it wasn't written with his special fountain pen, which is still on the desk. Rutherford notices that occasional letters are slightly smaller, and he sees they spell abducted. And Rutherford believes he's being held at the Science Center. Looking around the house, Boone notices that all of the paintings include a shape that is familiar to him, and it looks, I drew an upside down goalpost, like field goal. Yeah.
Good job. We're proud of you.
So that's what it looks like. That signifies to Boone, here is the place. At this time, Rutherford finds Dick's revolver, and Franny has looked around the house and sees no sign of forced entry. She offers to explore the facility to locate Dick, but knows it might be dangerous. Rutherford offers to join, posing as a visiting researcher, maybe with Cully as his assistant, and Bello as a distraction will sell his chicken. He has a meeting at the facility to try to strike a deal for chicken distribution, perhaps. He wants to market his boneless chicken as Bello Bites, a wondrous thing to have in your mouth. The PR team is Bello himself and his brother, Brutto Poulet. Everyone decides to sleep at Dick's that night, and after everyone goes to sleep, Boone takes the paintings with the special symbol down and out of their frame, and on the back he finds sketches. They are plans for a building. Altogether, there are 7 stories represented, yet there is no 7-story building in town. Boone sleeps on top of the paintings to protect them, and Bello sleeps in his deformed bus contraption with the back half that looks like a chicken coop, which he has named Bello la Barca, which perhaps should be La Bella Barca, but I don't know. And that's the night. That's all. I'm done.
That's your cue, Michael.
Yeah.
Hang on, I spilled tequila.
That crescendo of music at the end of Emily's thing, that's where you go.
It was still crescendoing.
I worked really hard on that crescendo.
I think it's time to start the show.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's start with you, Joe. Let's see how we can painfully peel away at your sanity points for the day.
Oh. Dice! Yes. Talk to me.
Wow. All of that,
Sorry.
and you forgot your dice. Uh-huh.
Where
That's
are
your
they?
cue. Hey, that's your
Okay.
cue to roll your dice.
Okay.
Oh,
I got
wait,
him.
I don't
I
have
got
my
him.
dice.
I got him. Okay, I'm here.
I came
got
to
my
play-
dice.
I came to role-playing night without my dice.
I have my dice. I brought them.
I hope you had to borrow some from Rick. Okay.
These are my dice. I would not use Rick's dice.
Yeah, I wouldn't
That's
touch those
ridiculous.
All right, why not? Is there a
How
problem?
about a black light?
With the, wow. What do you? what do you?
And
What
Scott
is-
crosses the line.
That's a line. That's a line you just crossed.
Scott is winning. I just want to say, like, so far tonight, Scott is winning. All right, Joe, we'll probably retcon a little bit from last episode.
Sure.
And we last left off with you in the theater, and everybody was like, fuck Joe. We're going to leave her here and head back to Richard's house. So what did you do?
Well, I probably would have gone home to the general store, knowing that I have an early morning the next day, and my boss is kind of a bitch.
Ooh,
Wow, that went
yeah.
somewhere.
That's a place.
I mean,
All right, so you escape the theater and head back to your house. And what do you do once you get there?
Well, I was feeling really confused about both the floating faces, the seeming beings from another realm, and the strange sort of purple mist and all of these things that just don't seem to be easily explained. And so I decided to pull out that journal that I keep with me.
Okay.
That I just still haven't figured out. I just feel like there might be some answers in it.
Okay. Roll for sanity.
Oh, that came quickly. Okay. I don't know what my
Phrasing.
Wow, I can't even bash Rick like that. I'm just gonna skip right over that one.
I rolled. I don't want to tell you what I rolled though.
Oh fuck yes! Did you 98
It's all the bragging 2 weeks ago about how hot you were rolling.
Oh, I was 2 weeks ago. That was 2 weeks ago.
It? Tell me you 98'd it.
No, thank God. I only 96'd it.
Yeah. All right.
Oh,
Wonderful. Okay, you can roll a d6 with that.
Are you
And
sure?
if you get a 5 or a 6, we can invoke the sanity rules.
Oh, I got a 2.
Oh, come on.
Got a
That's
2.
weak sauce.
Yeah.
Okay. Even so, as you open the book, as you hold it in your hands, your thumbs, as you're pulling the pages apart, start to bleed into the pages, and your fingers become like the paper, and it freaks you out. You throw the book across the room, and you're still compelled, though, because as you were holding the book, you noticed writing beginning to appear in it. And so you go back over and you pick it up in spite of it. As you do, pain shoots through your fingers up into your elbows, and really shatters the zone 6 of your shoulders. I mean, it just gets
Not
in
the
there.
zone 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the delicate part.
Yeah. It makes it just really reverberate with pain, but you're compelled to look at it. And as you do, handwriting starts going across the pages. Almost it's cursive, and you're watching it being written. And it says, the ritual continues to go well. Tonight possibly being one of the most revealing. The strange thing, it wasn't me who summoned the visions, but I swear it was her. And as this is happening, I mean, these words are appearing before your eyes. At this point, you also you've seen enough of these and read enough that you're pretty sure that the author of these entries is male. And it continues on. You're just kind of compelled, even though the pain is kind of racking you. It said, it looked like her, but my understanding is she wasn't free, so it couldn't have been her. Afterwards wasn't as good. LP continues to berate me, desiring more time, more focus, more secrets. Her insistence is more than I can bear, and I'm dubious of her intentions. I dare not leave anything unattended, and I have Alan following her. So far, he only sees her drinking, but she lost him last Saturday when she headed northwest of the city. What a costly mistake. He'll make sure to keep a full tank from now on. And then the writing ends, and as the writing finishes, the pain's incredible. You can barely close the journal. Your arms ache, and you wonder if this is going to be a lasting pain, if the keeper would be so cruel.
The keeper would never.
No. I mean, your name's not Bello, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Then you're probably fine.
Oh, no, mine is Bello.
Sorry about that.
Oh, about that time you hear a lightning strike across the city. Okay.
Now it's really
Delightful.
Fried. Now it's really fried chicken. Okay.
Okay. All right. So as that happens, you fold the journal and you put it away.
Mm-hmm. So I'm happy to sleep the rest of the night and try to put this out of my mind. But first thing in the morning, I am going to go try to find some of these people that have experienced these events with me and maybe feel a little more willing to share with someone, because I just can't handle this on my own.
Okay. Your dreams that night are just filled with visions from things in the journal and what your mind has kind of filled in the blanks. So you see this man darkly clothed performing a blood ritual where a goat is sacrificed atop of strange symbol. Some of the writing in this journal, of course, hasn't been in English, and it's been diagrams and drawings, and so this goat is sacrificed atop one of those drawings, and blood spills everywhere. A massive hole forms in the center of it, and you start to fall through it. You feel yourself fall, and you wake up screaming, your body kind of with a jarring jolt as you scream, and it's a really restless night, and you kind of continue this cycle. At one point, you're the center of the sacrifice, and you become the sacrifice, and you wake up again screaming, and so you just have these repeated nightmares throughout the night. On the upside, pick a skill, Joe, that you've used so far in the campaign.
Oh,
Successfully.
wonderful. Sleight of hand.
All right. Roll. You want to miss, so you want to get above sleight of hand.
Okay. Just roll a D100.
Yep.
I got below.
Oh, congratulations. You improve sleight of hand by 1 point.
But
Interesting.
getting below is not missing.
Yep.
Yeah, you want.
Oh, I only get 1 point.
You got a
Okay.
consolation one.
Yeah.
So interestingly, the female characters in the campaign did not get to properly raise our skills, but all the male characters did.
Oh.
no.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Just saying.
Oh.
Well, are you using the dice right? Because I can go through and
You to show us how? Okay. Would you like to explain that to us?
Some of the
Oh.
snapped.
Oh, Rick's in trouble.
This is amazing.
So, for those who are listening in podcast only, you might want to go to the video and watch Emily walk into another room to where Rick is.
After she got chicken splaned.
Yeah.
All right.
I did. So, oh my gosh, what was I going to say? Did that 2 that I rolled come off of my sanity?
Yeah, hell yeah, it did.
Okay, you just didn't say it. I wanted to make sure. Was there any physical damage from all the bleeding hands and such?
Yeah, your zone
Bleeding
6 is fine.
hands.
Like my
Bleeding
thumbs when I'm looking at the book and it's like
They
making my
weren't-
thumbs
They
bleed.
didn't bleed.
You said they did.
You literally, okay, I wrote
You did say
thumbs
that.
bleed in 2 pages.
Oh
I
crap!
no.
You know what I was thinking in my head? Here's a keeper fail.
I thought it was like merging into
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Like it was. That's where the psychic damage came from. You saw yourself being sort of pulled into the book.
Yeah. Thank you, Scott.
Oh.
I'm on Team Scott.
Oh.
I was picking up what you were putting down.
Okay.
It
You
was
did
way
say
more
bleed.
interesting. It was way bleeding into the book, like becoming part of the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was thinking, like it was. You could see like the fingers being extended and stretched as they pulled it.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's fair.
was-
That makes sense.
Way more interesting than bodily harm. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was with Emily on that.
Again, never mind.
Yep.
Okay.
My mind is very literal.
All right. So what else do you want to do, Joe?
We are in the morning now.
You want to kill the chicken man.
I want to find the chicken man. So I'm going to put my book into my bag.
You want to get a whole bunch of luck and sanity back? Just saying.
Yes, please. Yes, please. How may I do that, keeper, sir?
Kill the chicken man. Okay, what was
You
that?
mean like in real life?
Dude, whoa.
Lock the doors. Lock the doors.
Sleep well tonight, Rick.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna need it. We're gonna need a new player when Rick deceases.
So
Will we? Sorry.
I don't know where everyone is. So the
Wow.
first thing that I'll do is just run out of forgetting about work, forgetting about Belinda. She'll have to deal, and head back to the theater because that's the last place that I know everybody was.
Okay, so this is the morning after.
This is the morning after, yeah.
Okay, you'll get back.
I don't know if this. I at least thought this, and I cannot, for the life of me, remember if I said it. But I was gonna tell Joe that we were going back to, because you were going back to your house. I never said it. I can't remember if I did. No. Okay.
Because she was deep in the theater when y'all jetted, so I'm not even.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. It wouldn't even make sense to try and. However, Joe, there's two options for you. You can, you get to the theater. It's locked up tight. It's those big wooden doors I showed y'all. We can go back to the picture, and this time the lock on the front is clasped, so the doors are sealed. However, if you were kind of purposely looking for them, there'd be two things. You could go look for Culligan in the Straits, or you could go back to Richard's house. Either of those would make sense. And if you want to roll to see what your luck is on it, or if you just want to make a decision, I think I'm probably okay with either one.
I mean, I know Culligan well enough to know that the Straits would not be his first choice. So if I had two places to look, I would probably go look at Dick's.
Richard's.
You
at
know,
Richard's house.
You know that
Richard's,
I have a
yes.
pallet in his basement, like a little bed in the basement, and I
Okay,
crashed down there.
Yeah.
And especially with everything that's been going on, I think it would make a lot of sense for me to look for him there.
You sure you don't want to go to the Straits?
I'm sure
Okay.
that I
Just
don't
checking.
want to go to the Straits. I do, however, want to see if there's another door to the theater.
There's two. There's one on the, when you face the front door, if you went around the left side of the building, there is a stage, essentially an equipment loading and unloading spot for the rear of the stage.
Okay. And I assume that door is locked.
You would assume correctly.
I'm going to try it. See if it's open.
Mhm.
Just see.
It's locked.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of a lock?
It's a
Love that question.
state of the art 1940s deadbolt.
Okay.
In fact, it stands out to you as being a lock that of elevated security.
So are we talking like a deadbolt on the outside of the building with a padlock through it or something? Because if it was a deadlock on the inside, I wouldn't know what kind of lock it was.
Touche. It's a keyed entry. How's that?
Now you're
wanna go
changing
there?
the story.
No, I'm not. It's a keyed entry.
A deadbolt with a key
Yeah, well,
on the outside of the building.
yeah, most of
Sure.
most of the deadbolts on the outside of the building would
Great.
require a key.
Got it.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Mhm.
Are you really? Do you want to get electrocuted right now?
I touched the deadbolt.
Do I have to chicken splain what a deadbolt
So
is?
good.
They're not usually electrified. I'm just curious. I'm very
great.
curious. Joe is very curious.
Fantastic. It's early in the morning. You're in an alley touching the deadbolt. Are you
Yes.
happy?
Yes, I'm happy.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Good.
I'm going to go to Richard's house now.
I love it when we drink before we record a show.
That's it. You touched the deadbolt. Now you're headed to. Fine. Go to Richard's house. Okay.
Emily, was calling the keeper on his electrification comment.
Okay. You know what? Roll a luck roll. Make a luck roll.
Roll for electrification?
No. Make a luck roll.
I will make a luck roll.
Yeah. Roll another 96. It'd be fun.
Oh, I rolled 11. I made my luck roll.
Fine. All right. You get back to Richard's house.
That's delightful.
Yeah. Isn't it?
Okay. Well, I see this strange contraption in the driveway. I'm going to knock on the door.
Yeah. So everybody is. Oh, you're going to knock on the door?
Of the strange contraption in the driveway.
What time is it at this point?
Are you an early right? Oh, no. Joe had a rough night. I'm going to call this. We're not going to call this very early in the morning. We'll call it 9 o'clock.
Yeah, we would have been up already.
Yeah, we'd be up by then.
Well, most of y'all were up half the night, right? Doing weird shit. Like everybody was like, well, and then I did this, and I did this. And...
Yeah, I think Franny just went to bed. 9 o'clock is freaking late.
At the crack of dawn, they would have heard my car's alarm go off.
Yeah, what would that sound like?
You're muted. We couldn't hear that, Rick. Okay, so, all right. If y'all are awake, give me a Constitution. Who has the lowest or who has the highest Constitution? We'll just go that way.
That's not
probably
me.
Joe.
No, Joe, you're not playing this game.
Mine's
70.
70.
What's that?
70.
I think Bello and I are tied at 70.
It's Joe.
All right. Culligan, this makes the most sense then. We'll say you're up first. Because you're not sleeping in a chicken mobile.
Super comfy. It's like a nest.
All right, Cully, what you doing?
Well, no, but what time did I... Like, am I waking up as Joe gets there?
No, we'll say you're up before. So Joe's probably, waking up, like, looking at her hands, like, oh my God, and like, feeling her shoulders. All the pain's gone. It's kind of weird.
Got it. Okay.
Until later on when she has to do something and it strikes her in an opportune time.
Yeah, so my routine is I'll go in the kitchen, get a giant, like, he's got these... What are they, like mixing bowls? So I get like a mixing bowl and fill it with an entire box of like cornflakes. And then there's a big container of sugar. And so I'll get like just about a ladle full of sugar, like stupid amounts, and pour it all over the cornflakes. And then I get a milk and I'll fill the bowl. And every time I do this, I use at least half of his milk just in this thing. And then I go out to the front stoop. I get the paper because obviously he gets it delivered, and I'll read the comics in the paper and just sit there with a big spoon, just eating my bowl of cereal.
Okay, cool. All right, cock-a-doodle-doo, you're up next. I love that vision, by the way, Scott. Thank you for that.
Well, I'll pop open the side of my vehicle.
Okay, Rutherford, what are you doing?
Wow.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bello.
And I'll see if anyone else is up. I suppose what I notice if Culligan's up and on the porch.
Are you on the porch or are you outside, Culligan?
Oh, no. I'm sitting at like, there's like a little sort of breakfast area. Yeah. It's sort of, there's windows though. So there's a chance, I guess, you could see me depending on where you are from the outside. Yeah,
there's a ton of natural light in this house. Yeah. So, but probably from what Bello's at, no, you wake up, there's nobody out and about, but you're up.
Yeah, well, I would go ahead and make myself a couple of eggs. I've got a griddle inside, and I would get that going.
Inside your chicken mobile?
Chicken mobile. It's sort of like a prehistoric food truck. You see here, we've got fryers and a little griddle. And
Sorry, I need to go back a second. Culligan, when you sit down at the table to eat, there's these rolls of paintings in the middle of the table with a pack of chewing gum on top of them.
Oh, if there's stuff there, then I'm gonna go, like, just stand at the counter and do my stuff. So I don't want to screw. I'm not even gonna go near them once I notice them. So, yep. So, and then I'll have the paper sort of off to the side of me, and just eating my cereal away. But yeah, I'll stay away from the table entirely.
Okay, you're totally a 16-year-old. You're totally a 16-year-old. Yeah, that makes total sense. Okay, perfect. All right. Okay, Bello, you're in the chicken mobile frying up some eggs.
Yeah, and I'd make a collection of these goods, and I would actually bring them into the house for everybody else, and sit them down at the table and sit down next to Culligan, have some eggs, and offer if he would like some.
What do you mean a collection of these goods?
Of my egg plate.
What do you mean a collection of goods?
I just made a collection of my eggs left and right. I don't.
No, I mean, I'm kind of being a jackass, but I'm not trying to be a jackass. Like, what do you mean by a collection of, like, eggs?
Like, I fried some eggs, I put them on plate, and I brought them in for people.
How many eggs are in a collection?
More than a gaggle and less than a prize.
I know. We'll say a chicken tender's dozen.
All right, so you fried
13?
It's 11. It's a weird number because you eat one.
What was that thing about staying on the rails?
I'm so glad I asked.
I have this wonderful laugh in stereo right now.
No. Holy God.
So I bring my 11 eggs. I got some biscuits, and I'll bring them in for folks.
Okay, that's fair. I'm actually glad you asked that. All right, so you have a plate of 11 eggs and one in your tummy, and you're bringing it in and sitting next to Culligan. Rutherford, what are you doing?
Wait, it's a small detail, but you would be standing at the counter next to me unless you do anything with the stuff on the table. So you may have missed this. There's a bunch of papers and some gum on the table.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't want to screw with them, so I'm just at the counter, standing at the counter.
I'm just holding a plate of fried eggs.
No, you're standing at the counter eating
it on
with
the counter,
Culligan.
you schmuck.
Got it. I'm at the counter. I'm standing. That's fine.
Bello, important question. What are you wearing?
Good point. Very good question.
You're not wearing a chicken suit.
I'm not wearing my chicken suit because I'm going to be meeting folks. So I'm wearing my finest overalls with sort of a cut collared shirt.
Okay. Good college shirt.
Yeah, it's a blue collared shirt with my jeans, my overalls. Mm-hmm.
I have another important question.
And white crisp shoes.
No, too far. You were doing
blue
okay.
shirt and white crisp shoes.
Too much.
You were on the rails for a minute there, and we were okay. All right, Franny, what are you doing?
No, I have an important question for Bello.
Why?
How are the eggs prepared?
Why? Oh God, they're fried. He said they're fried.
Is that over easy?
Over me?
No, that's fried.
Is it sunny
that's a
side
fried
up?
egg. No, it's a fried egg. A fried egg is its own thing.
I fried 11 eggs.
Does that mean like you break the yolk?
No,
How you fry an egg?
Oh my God, they're a fried egg.
How's Bella getting all dressed and all gussied up and doing all this stuff with a mangled arm?
Are you saying
the keeper hates us.
Are you saying a deep fried egg?
I think maybe we should do things.
Once again, this is some Texas shit that I have never in my 50 years heard of.
What?
All eggs are fried in a pan. Do you fry them on one side and leave it sunny side up? Do you turn it over and just leave it soft? Do you leave it for a while so that it becomes medium but a little soft in the yolk? Or do you break it and fry it completely so that it's completely over hard?
For those that are listening, I'm really sorry. We're going to return to the story shortly, but we're going to have to educate Art on fried eggs.
Yeah,
for a
please
moment.
do. Please do.
Fried eggs are some sort of fat or oil placed in the bottom of the skillet. You crack the
Like
egg and
every
throw
egg.
it into...
Okay, we're like every egg that's ever been fried in a pan.
No.
Okay.
No, there's poached.
Sure. There's poached. There's boiled. Yeah, I get it. I get it. But when you fry it in a pan,
can cook eggs.
Go ahead.
That's a fried egg. Yes. And you can do one of two things. You can either fry it open and allow the yolk to naturally congeal or not, make it very runny, or you can cover the fried egg and allow it to skim over. But a fried egg is quite simply a fried egg. It is cracked into an oil or fat and fried.
No
Done.
flip.
No,
Just
no
one side.
flip.
Oh, interesting.
But is it sunny side up? Or is it cooked enough so that the yolk is hard?
It can be either. But sunny side up is a very particular type of egg. Whereas a fried egg can be covered, and if you cover it, the steam coming off makes the yolk cook, and it's no longer sunny side up.
Okay, then how would you order that?
How would you order what?
What you just described.
I want to drag a chicken egg through
A sunny
the sauna.
side up?
No, the one where you cover it and cook it hard.
Called a sunny side up with a foreskin.
Okay, we should move on.
We're going to edit this out for the sake of our audience, right?
Absolutely not. So, Bello, does this jive with what you were going for?
Yeah, so I crack my eggs in a fashion, and then I just flip them up and over. So I actually have a collection, a gradient, so to speak, of fried eggs.
Wait, but you said you flipped it over? Because he was very specific that no flipping can possibly occur in a fried egg.
No, I did not flip them over. I just have a collection of eggs that I put into the griddle, and then I flip them into the plate that I brought. That's what I meant.
Wait, so you cooked them on a griddle? Because that is not what he said.
With plenty of fat there in the pan, on the griddle.
Bello, why don't you just call them all over easy?
It works. It's a collection of over easy, over medium, and hard. It's a gradient of eggs.
Thank you.
You don't know what you're gonna get, but you gotta get some eggs, and they're gonna be great.
Excellent.
And we're gonna move on. We're gonna let the story continue to run on. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Excellent.
With his over easy, over medium, over hard eggs. All right. So, Franny, can we get to what you're doing?
Yeah. So I have been up most of the morning working on my plan for later on today, and will come out once I hear people out and about in the kitchen. I'm going to come out. I will have a look at what Bello has and what Culligan has. And Franny's gonna say, "Oh, Cully, I see you didn't find the large bowl, did you?" And Bello, thank you for making those eggs. That's lovely. I'm gonna have some toast.
Oh yes, you're gonna have
Franny's
a
gonna make
toast
some
with some
toast
eggs.
and go sit and make some coffee and have some coffee and toast for breakfast.
Is Franny vegan in the 40s?
Nope. She is just not eating anything that Bello is making.
That's fair. Totally get that.
And
right.
while the coffee is percolating, I'm gonna poke around in those papers that are suddenly on the kitchen table.
They're not papers.
They're paintings rolled up, right? Yep.
Yeah.
So I want to open that up and see what's up with that.
Okay. So we'll get to that in just a second.
Sure
Rutherford, what are you doing?
Rutherford, he's not going to partake of any collected breakfast items, and he's not interested in food at all. So he's going to shift around the house and
As a concept.
I hope you're hungry, Bello.
He'll make a little bit of search around the house, try to collect things up for their excursion to the science center. He's very nervous about that happening and wants to be prepared. And he's looking around to see if there's anything that he could use,
Rutherford, make a luck roll.
Okay.
See, Emily, Wayne brought his dice.
Right here.
I have dice.
I nailed it. Got it.
I brought them to another state.
And what did you roll? Just curiosity.
36, and I have a real good high luck.
Okay, 36. And then let me ask you, this is for a bonus.
Ooh.
What is your mechanical repair skill?
Actually, it's really damn good. It's 70.
Perfect. Okay, so what you find is you're gonna like this. You find Richard's ID badge for the labs. It's currently expired. However, it has the laminate has broken on the side, and you're pretty sure that this would be easy to take apart.
That's where Rutherford is right on that, having found this, and with delicate fingers, which he does because of his mechanical abilities, he's going to get a photograph and alter it and put his photograph inside of it.
Perfect. So that's what you'll work on. We're going to head to a break for a moment, and when we return, we'll see what Franny discovers there.
Excellent. Then let's take 5, and we will see everyone on the other side. All right, we're back from break. Michael, take it away.
Oh, hi, that's me.
Yep,
okay,
that's you.
All right, so we left off, and Rutherford had discovered a piece of ID, and we were going to go over to Franny at the breakfast table.
Oh, we were. Okay.
Yeah.
So
peanut breath.
I'm eating my circus peanut.
Oh yeah, this
It's
episode
delicious.
Go back to Joe.
No.
So I'm just going to look
this
at the
episode brought to you by Spangler's Peanuts, the best peanuts in the world for vegans
absolutely
and
true.
for meat eaters.
Really not for vegans. They're not.
They're
Meaty
VD,
and meaty.
they're VD,
They're vegan in air quotes.
they're VD meaty good.
Yes, they are meaty meaty. That's true. So I'm gonna unroll the paintings and just look at what's there on the table, just sort of curiously poking around.
Yeah, they're paintings that look like make a luck roll actually.
All right.
Yeah, actually no, you unroll them, you move the package of gum to the side, and you unroll it, and it's a painting of an upside down goalpost.
Okay, well I made my luck roll for whatever that's worth. Okay.
All right, so you flip it over while you're looking at it, and wahoozy batoozy, you see what looks like to be the sketches and outlines of a building.
So I'm just trying to spell whoozy patoozy.
And the whoozy patoozy.
All right. You spell that the normal way, right?
Wahoozy batoozy, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so it's just paintings. Nothing strikes me as interesting. Do I notice that there are paintings missing from the wall?
Did my microphone cut out?
Well, I was trying to spell Batoozy.
I said you flipped
spelled it
over
with a
the
Z.
painting because you made your luck roll, and
Oh.
it was Wahoozy Batoozy. On the other side, there's some drawings of what appear to be blueprints of buildings.
Okay. And do I'm just going to study the buildings. Do they look familiar? Is it anything? You said that there's from.
Make a knowledge roll.
Okay.
This is interesting. It's a good question.
I'm going to burn luck so that I make it.
Oh yeah, do that. Do that. Burn that luck.
How did you make that sound dirty?
Because of the feelings he has when you fail your luck rolls.
Yep. All right. That makes perfect sense.
It's exciting. All right. So
Wow.
okay, you
faces
realize
he's making.
you don't think back to when you're in the lab. You actually think about some hikes that you've taken in Los Alamos across some of the rising. It's kind of mountainous terrain, right? And when you've been up on some of the plateaus and up in the larger structures above the town, and you're looking down, and this shape looks pretty familiar to you, and you're thinking that geometrically this looks like a particular set of the science buildings or
Interesting.
lab buildings.
Interesting. And when I recognize that shape, is that of just the upper floors of this 7-story structure?
So, curious, you should ask. There's no floors labeled on this building, but the painting that you have unrolled appears to match the shape of an above ground facility.
Okay, so this isn't the 7-story structure that was talked about last week.
It is. It's the same
Oh, it
structure, but you only have one. You only have one painting unfurled in front of you.
Okay. But it is. I just want to. I'm not trying to be a pain in the ass, but it is a 7-story structure that I'm looking at, and I am aware of a 7-story structure.
No. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay.
So what was referenced last week, and there's multiple rolls of paintings in front of you.
Gotcha.
Right. He looked at multiple rolls, and each roll was a different floor, which is probably going to happen for your character because you see rolls on the table and you see this drawing on the back. So you'll quickly start to it's not necessarily that was probably a little far of me to say to go so far as to say that, but there's 7 different paintings on the table and 7 different schematics of drawings. How's that?
Okay, that makes more sense.
Okay.
And I recognize this first one as a structure that I'm
Looking
familiar
very
with.
similar to the above ground facility.
When I continue to look through, I guess what I'm getting at is, does it appear to me in these blueprints that there are floors that that I'm not aware of? That this is sort of pointing to the fact that maybe there are underground floors that I am not aware of in the structure that I am aware of.
Make an intelligence roll.
Okay.
Is Franny smart?
Yes,
Is Franny
Franny is very smart.
but
and
Art rolls the dice
definitely
like shit.
that's true, but this one is a success.
Oh, okay. So you're pretty easily able to look at these and start to look at the staircases in the structure and realize that there's 7 of these drawings and they do seem to be connected to each other.
Okay. And this is not the building that I work in?
This is definitely not the building that you work in.
Okay, but it's the same government agency.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
So
All right.
think of it as a campus, right? Like
Sure.
that. Maybe that's the best way to think of this as a campus.
Yep.
And your building's on the campus, but it's in a different part of the campus.
Okay. Then I would certainly point this out to the rest of the group. And try to sort of think about this in the frame of reference of the plan that I'm trying to devise to get Cully and Rutherford in to try and find Richard.
Okay.
As soon as you say that, I'm going to say, Franny, do you think that's where they're keeping Dick?
Well, I think it might be. It certainly seems to be some sort of secret facility. Now, my security clearance isn't very high, but I am familiar with the other structures, and no one really talks about all these extra floors here. So it does seem odd.
How many extra floors are there?
Well, how many floors am I aware of, Keeper?
So based on what you're seeing, 7.
No, I know that there's 7 in the structure, but how many was I aware of prior to looking at the blueprints?
Oh, at most 2.
Okay. Yeah, so this is a 2-story structure that I'm familiar with. So there's 5 other floors here that seem to be somewhat secretive. If they exist, I don't know. Maybe this is some sort of a plan to build them. Maybe they're in construction, or maybe they've been there the whole time. I really wouldn't know.
We got to tell Rutherford he's the smart one. He's going to figure this out because, man, we can't search 5 floors without getting caught.
Well, we may have a way to get you pretty deep in there, but my phrasing. But we can. I think we can get you past security pretty well. What happens once you get in there? We have no idea. I can't tell what's going on in these floors. Rutherford, what does this look like to you?
Well, I was gonna say, I guess Rutherford comes by, and he says, yeah, absolutely, the floors would be subterranean for the nuclear aspects of their experiments. There's some curiosities with nuclear experimentation and danger. We don't know completely what it does to living organism, and it has to be kept safe. And also the chemistry that they need to be looking at. And subterranean labs are much better for that.
Is that something that you're familiar with Richard working on?
We in a graduate school worked on a paper together on some nuclear aspects. He's much better than the nuclear stuff, and I was working on the chemistry aspects of it. But I learned quite a bit over the years and have done a lot more studying. That's why I'm here, because that facility is doing some nefarious things.
Oh dear! I think the keeper might be having some sort of a problem over there.
Keeper, let me just ask, does Bello know where he's supposed to meet the folks at Los Alamos for his meeting later? And is it at this building or a different building that they're referencing?
Hell no, you're not meeting at this building. You're meeting at like a central dining facility. So like, again, think campus, right? And the building that Franny would be referencing is in one part of the campus, where the dining hall where you're meeting is in a centralized area.
I see. Continue, everybody.
Sure you don't want to take over the show?
Well, no, do not give him that option.
So, is it about time? I want to go find if we can get Joe. I don't want to do this without Joe around. So, is it about time?
Yeah. So while y'all are eating lunch and examining or eating breakfast and Joe shows up.
Thank goodness.
Sorry, I kind of forgot about you.
How could you forget about Joe? I even asked if I was there yet.
All right, so as soon as you come in, I'm going to say, Joe, did you have breakfast yet?
No,
There's a metric fuck ton of eggs here. Nobody's eating them.
I'm going to say, don't eat the eggs. And I go get you your own bucket of cereal. And before you even have a chance to ask, I'm dumping the sugar on and I'm getting the other half of the milk on. Like, you've got now a bucket of cereal in front of you. And I'm eating with basically like ladles, so I get you your own ladle.
Oh, it's the Cully special. Thank you.
Poor Bello and his eggs. His fried eggs.
I have to talk to you.
You want to?
Something so weird happened last night.
Okay.
Can we tell everyone? Because we just found where they might be keeping Dick.
Oh, good.
Okay. From now on.
They might be keeping Dick in a deep dark hole.
For every player that says Dick, you have to make a sanity roll.
No.
I'm just putting that out there.
I'm glad I got one in there right at the end.
Wait, what about Dickie?
Make a sanity roll, Scott.
No, I'm just asking. This wasn't my
make
character.
a sanity roll, Scott.
I think he was asking for
I'll
rules
make it for you.
clarification.
I was asking for rules clarification.
Make a sanity roll, Scott.
I think you made it clear.
I got it. I got a 14.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? Any other takers?
But what if
Not yet.
What if we slip?
All right.
Oh.
Right.
I'll
continue on, please. Continue on.
So, Joe, we may have found where they're keeping penis.
What?
Oh my God! Careful with your diction.
Scott, I'm making the sanity roll for you.
I think at disadvantage, right?
Yes, I think that's right. At disadvantage.
Wow. We've gone off the rails, and it's not Rick's fault.
Joe is in crisis. Everybody else just is talking about Dick.
Well, to be fair, I don't think any of the characters are. It's
What's your sanity, Culligan?
At this point, a 1.
70.
Okay.
70?
Wow.
You're so sane.
You take 2 points of sanity damage. And Joe, what's your sanity?
What? I'm in crisis.
Yeah, you just said the D word.
53.
All right, I made that one.
Oh, that's
Is
so
that
funny.
good or bad?
All right, it's fine. You don't take any sanity damage. Y'all try and continue on talking about Richard.
I have a
And
problem.
I'm going to drink a caffeinated hydrating beverage. What?
So what happened, Joe?
So, have you ever
Are you
seen my...
telling the whole group? Or just me?
Should I?
I mean, we're trusting them with a lot. They're helping us to get Richard back.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
And they seem pretty bad. I got to say, Rutherford seems like about the smartest person I've ever met.
Okay, well then, Rutherford, maybe you can help me with this. And I just hand him the journal.
Ah. And Rutherford goes, absolutely. Let me look at what you've been reading. And opens it up and takes a peek inside. And then says at the same time, whose journal is this?
Wait. Who'd you show the journal to?
I just handed it to Rutherford because Cully said he was the smartest person.
Make a sanity roll just for opening that puppy.
Oh, piece of cake. Got it.
All right, keep going then.
It's mine now.
But whose writings inside? Who wrote the entries into the journal?
Well, see, that's the thing. I mean, there was a man who had it before I did. I don't know if he wrote it because last night some writing appeared.
Appeared? How so? Someone had
What do you mean?
wrote in it, and then you opened it, and they wrote in it when you were asleep?
Like, in front of my eyes, I could see the letters forming. And it's happened before. But this time it seemed like they might have been writing about, like, something we saw.
My dear, I believe you must have been dreaming or hallucinating, because
No, seriously, look at the last entry.
And so Rutherford goes to the last entry, and
doesn't it say like something about a ritual, the ritual going well, and the vision, summoning the visions? We saw visions yesterday.
So
we saw visions in the theater.
And I said, young lady, the visions in the theater were just light and shadow, and were tricks. They were.
Rutherford, I know you say that, but Richard didn't think that was the case. Richard said that he couldn't explain it, and that it wasn't just lights and stuff.
Well,
he said that it was an unexplainable, and that's why he wanted us all to come.
Well, my good.
And it said
Richard is a scientist and wants to figure things out, and he's looking for a logical explanation to it. There isn't things that just happen through supernatural and pseudosciences. That's just not the case.
But how do you explain the journal talking about LP? It said LP continues to berate me. And last night we heard this woman sing, and her name was LP. It was Lana Pare. And then I heard her berating someone after the show. It was Caspar the Magician.
So Rutherford goes to the final page that Joe's referring to.
Rutherford, make a psychology roll.
Yep, and okay. How is my psychology? Oh, not very good at all. Nope. I didn't get it.
You think Joe is a hysterical child?
Okay, yeah, that would be logical to Rutherford. And Rutherford looks at the final entry and wants to see if it matches up to what she's describing.
But there is no final entry
on the page, and so I go to the page and I hold it up, and I said,
wait. the final entry is like the one that y'all are referencing at the moment, but then there's several. There's probably 20 or 30 blank pages afterwards.
Oh no, I mean the final last entry that was put in, the one that's speaking of this ritual, the page that she's referring to.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. Go ahead then.
So Rutherford goes to that, opens it up, and looks at it, and puts his points to it, and then says, "Is this young lady? Is this the entry you are talking about?" And do the words match what she was saying?
Yes, they do.
They do. Okay.
Yes.
I said, I see.
Joe, is that you said there's other entries too? Did they come in the same way? Is it the same handwriting? Is it the same person?
I mean, all of the handwriting that I've seen appear seems to be the same person, right, Keeper?
Yes.
But it's not all in English.
Yes.
And there was a lot in the journal when I stole. I mean, when I got it.
Did you? What did you say?
I gotta say that's a character slip.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
What did you say about the journal, my dear? You found it or procured it?
Yeah.
Well, whose journal is this?
I mean, okay, so the man that had it, I don't know if he wrote it all, but his name was Hans Bekker.
Did you take this journal from the theater? The other night from the
No. I've had it for a long time.
Is that name familiar to me at all?
Say again. Sorry.
Is Hans Bekker is that name familiar to me at all? And for that matter, is it familiar to Rutherford at all?
Yeah, roll for let's see, let's do an EDU on that one.
Okay.
Should Rutherford too?
Sure. Yeah, you could both do an EDU on that.
That is a hard success for me.
Ooh, hard success for Rutherford.
Oh, look at y'all. Y'all are just all hard together, aren't you? Okay.
Wow.
The man trying to quell the
roll
dick
for
jokes.
sanity, mister.
Okay, roll for sanity, Joe. Roll for sanity. If you can't get the dick out of your mouth, you're gonna roll for sanity.
Okay, Keeper, roll for sanity.
Wow.
Roll for sanity, Michael.
Keeper doesn't have to roll for sanity.
I got it. I got a 16.
All right. So for those of you who successed on Hans, let me give you a little bit of background here. And let's throw something in here that makes it a little bit interesting. You know from your research, he is an eccentric up in Abiquiu. He's known because he has an extensive personal library. And let's see what else we can pull out here. Oh, that's pretty good traits. Good. Nice. Even better. Okay. The two of you will know him because he's a very academic individual, and as such is a dominant book collector. The two of you, Franny and Rutherford, would have connected with him at his fourth wedding. Okay. He was remarried for the fourth time. And at that wedding, things that transpired was it's quite extravagant, and Hans, you should know, is a very wealthy individual, and this was a large wedding, so you weren't invited because you're personal friends or even close friends. You're almost invited as or seat fillers for the wedding, right? Just to fill it out and make it a bigger production than it already was. One thing that definitely stands out is that Han's brother is deaf, and it's lended a certain air to his academic research in terms of trying to find ways to restore the hearing of his brother, which is not something that's kind of on the down low at all among the scientific community. He's known somewhat as a zone researcher. He's a little bit on the in terms of seeking out any modality that he believes might restore his brother's hearing. He's also, on the other hand, quite known among the scientific community as a practical joker. Somebody who would go so far as to loan out books but replace pages. And the practical jokes aren't so much to be humorous or insidious as provocative. So he would replace pages of books to see if people actually are reading the ones he loaned out. And so people have noticed that when he puts things out into the world, he's keeping a keen eye on how they're interpreted and handled.
And so at that, Rutherford would say to Joe to give her some background, and Franny, and I said, Franny, this is Hans, and this is one of his books.
And actually, it's totally possible. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, Wayne. It's totally possible that y'all were at this wedding, same wedding, and you never saw each other. So thousands of people at the wedding. It was incredibly large.
Okay.
So if you want to roll on that, or if it's important to your story, either way, I'm okay with Rutherford. If like you saw Franny there, or if you want to roll to see if it was by chance, I'm okay with that too. But either way, but that's how large this wedding was.
I wouldn't have real connection to Franny, but I may have seen her there, being in the academic world. So I'll go for chance.
Yeah. What about
sure.
the guest book? If you saw her name or something. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I rolled a 5.
Okay, so then it's your choice. It's totally your choice. Play it out how you want.
I would have seen. Let's just say I would have seen Franny there and know that she knows of him, and then you and I in a small discussion over an open bar, we realized then that we talked about the history of this fellow being a jokester, and that he doesn't really have a great success in his science world, but because he has his money, he likes to do these scientific adventurisms and go out there, and he's more of a popular, going for popularity as opposed to breakthroughs.
Perfect.
And this book would fall into so I say to Franny, this book that our friend Joe has seems to be one of his tricks, and I think Joe must have fallen victim to something curious about this book.
This is not just a trick. This book is dangerous.
It could be because of the person who supplied it with the truth bent about what it's really about. I don't for a second believe this could be too dangerous unless you believe it to be so.
You're not listening to me. Take the book back if I can. and
I'll hand it back to you. And I said, young lady, it's fine. I just don't you let yourself get too upset about these things. And I don't question you did see something, but what you saw was in your mind, but not the source was not this book. It was
this book is dangerous. The things in this book can be deadly.
And then I go to say to her, I said, what's dangerous is the science lab where our friend was taken, and that's the most dangerous thing in this area. And we have to get inside to save our friend. The danger there is of paramount importance for us to avoid the dangers of it and find our friends.
So Franny's having a bit of a crisis here because she really wants to believe Joe, and she doesn't want to dismiss her. At the same time, she knows that this dude is a practical joker and would probably enjoy creating something that would freak somebody out. So she's going to say, "Joe, might I have a look at that book?"
Sure.
Okay, so she's going to take it and flip through it.
It's your hand. I'm just really quick going to say, Joe, if it's so dangerous, how come you're keeping it?
I can't. It. It's the last. My family is dead because of this book.
Oh, I'm going to walk over and I'm just a stupid 15-year-old boy, but I'm going to put my arm around your arm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, no way. You rolled a what?
Oh, no.
So in the background, for those listening to the podcast, Michael asked me to roll a psychology roll while looking through the book, and I rolled a 98.
Okay, so as you're flipping through this book, Joe is delusional to you. She's just an adolescent child, and you fully, all you can see are Hans's pranks all through this text.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing, it reeks to you of his ways of deluding people and trying to convince them of supernatural existence, and you in no way, in fact, you have to say something offensive right now to Joe.
Joe, darling, I am so sorry about your family, but this man, he loves to get a rise out of folks, and I think that the timing here is just very poor. That his joke has led you to be feeling this way. There is nothing wrong with this book that is supernatural. It is just that you are letting your feelings cloud your judgment, and that is what you are seeing in this book.
That was a little too subtle.
It was.
I'm gonna go so far. I'm gonna go so far as to say
I was trying to diminish her feelings.
Yeah, no, I know, but with a 98, we'll leave everything in place except when you said rise out of people, we're gonna say rise out of simple minds.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be that. It's gonna be that cutting it, Joe.
You are so short-sighted. I'm just going to grab my book again. Run out the front door.
Joe, let me just, do you mind? I actually believe you. You see, I may have dabbled myself in a bit of the unknown. And if you wouldn't mind, I'm happy to take a look at this.
I'm still running out the front door, so you can follow me out if you want.
All right,
but
I'll follow you out.
Are you going to be carrying your tray of eggs?
No, I've eaten half of my
You're good.
chicken tenders dozen, so I'm all gassy, and it's a lot of sulfur, so you can smell me on my way out, and I'll find my way.
So I smell you coming.
You would no, they smell me leaving, and
Okay, hang on. We'll catch up with you in a second. Franny, I would like you to establish with Rutherford how ridiculous this text is.
Yes. Now, Rutherford, of course, we know that this has nothing to do with what we are looking for. This is just a silly practical joke. Now, let's get back to the actual work of trying to find Richard.
I couldn't agree more. That nonsensical book is It's not even worth the paper that it's written on. If we had a campfire at hand, it should be tossed into it. This foolish person Hans and his meanderings in such folly leads some people astray who don't have the mind to see through his veil of foolishness.
Yes, of course. The girl didn't know him. She has no idea what he is about. Had she known anything about either science or the man who wrote it, she wouldn't feel that there was anything serious here.
Absolutely. Now, to other matters at hand, I hold up, because since Franny works at the thing, I hold up the ID that I've been working on. And I said, Franny, you have an eye for these things and work there. How convincing is this ID? And I show it to Franny.
So whose name is on it?
Rutherford's now, I believe. Actually, I'm trying to think how would we go about that? Or we can't keep Richard's name on it because he's been abducted. So we'd have to use a different name on it.
I think your name would be fine. So I've been trying to work up a plan to get you in as recommended by another doctor, like someone who does have security clearance. So if you used your name on it.
Yeah, that's why I said I've left the name I've left blank so far, because that's why I was showing. I wasn't quite sure which angle to go on with.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think it would make more sense to have your name, and then I'll come up with paperwork from.
Legitimize it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. For you and an assistant.
Perfect.
To get into a secure area.
Yeah, because then we'd have other ID that we can use to follow it up just in case.
Right. Yep. Okay.
I like it.
Okay. We're starting to have a few threads here, and we're also kind of at a stopping time. So I think I'm going to pause here because otherwise we're going to get into a few threads.
Okay.
And so for next...
Just really quickly, to be clear.
Yeah.
Yep.
As soon as Joe grabs the book and runs out, I'm going right with her. And over my shoulder, I'm just yelling back to them. I'm like, what did you guys do that to her for? And then I'm heading straight out after Joe.
Okay, so Joe and Culligan, this is where we'll pick right up on this tale next week, because there's a lot of kind of important things going on here at the moment. We'll have Joe and Culligan out the door with Bello on their trail. Bello, you're going to need to keep, or Joe, if you can just take notes that Bello rolled a 5 to get you to stop.
4.
A 4. So whatever, it's significant. And so he's going to be able to get to stop and talk to you. One other thing I need for some clarification, Culligan. Do you have another friend from the Straits?
Oh, you mean like just people from my area that I'm also from? Oh, yeah. I mean, I had sort of a group when I was younger that I spent a lot of time with, that we were in a gang, but we were, let's say, a collection of kids who didn't always do the right things together.
Who's the closest member of that group that you were with?
A guy named Solomon.
Okay, so...
Cully and Solly. Two neighborhood thugs.
All right. Solomon?
Yep.
Okay. Perfect. And he's about your age, right?
About my age. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. We're still friends. We're still friendly, but he and the old gang just sort of went off in a different direction from me, and I've been trying to do better. One of the things that Richard keeps reinforcing with me is that my choices influence what happens in my life. And so I'm trying to use what he's teaching me and actually make better choices. So I'm actually trying to learn in school. I'm trying to sort of take care of the things in my life that I've always just ignored.
Perfect. So Solomon might make an appearance in the next couple of weeks. So offline, I just want you to get me a little info about him so I can play him.
Sure.
Cool.
Okay.
Is that what we're calling it?
I think, is that what y'all want to do? It's probably a good.
Sure.
It's a good pausing point. I think.
Yeah, great.
All right.
Okay.
And that's going to do it for us tonight. Thank you for joining us. Until next time, if you'd like to find us online, the website is underthelibrary.com. We're on Instagram, Under the Library, and Twitter, Under the LIB. You can find us on YouTube, or if you found us on YouTube and you want to hear us on podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, we're everywhere. So for myself, for Michael, for Scott, Wayne, Emily, Rick, and even for the absent Chris. What? Why is there all this pointing going on? What did I
Michael
miss?
wants to talk.
I forget two things, and I always forget to say them at the front of the show.
Hit it.
One, we have our Patreon at Patreon/Under the Library. And then we also have a module up from season 1 in Drive-Thru RPG called The Snake's Oil. And it's a great kind of addendum scenario we never got to in the original season. And if you want to play along with some of these amazing characters from season 1, you can by looking up The Snake's Oil on Drive-Thru RPG
Excellent.
in the Miskatonic University. Yep.
Once again, that's the
A
Snake's
repository.
Miskatonic Repository. All right,
Yeah,
let's be clear about that. And it is the Snake's Oil. Thank you, Michael. I should probably put that in my notes so that I remember that as well. So thank you for that, and thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time.